Hi folks, before we get going on today's video, I just thought I'd share something that one of our viewers sent me, which is basically him watching Doxie coming into Port Stephens on the webcam that is used to check out the bar and the condition of the channel before sailors head out there. So it kind of shows how little and insignificant Doxie is against that big backdrop. Good morning, it's Peter here on Doxie, day 226 of Peter and Doxie sailing from New South Wales to Queensland and back again. Today could be the last day. I think I can make it home from here to Gosford, and it is 4 something in the morning. Just been having breakfast, preparing everything. I'm going to try and get away at first light and make that run for home. The weather looks like it should be okay, so probably better than yesterday. Well, hopefully better than yesterday. It wasn't that wonderful, but yeah, that's just a weird thought. After over 6 months away, it's just like, I'm going to be sleeping in my bed tonight. Oh wow, okay. Not that I don't love sleeping on here, I do. But yeah, it's just like, you can sleep soundly not worrying about, is the anchor alarm going to alert me if it drags? Yeah, all the things that you think of when you're on a boat, because it's obviously a much more volatile location. So, for want of a better word, which I think at 4 something in the morning I'm doing all right, especially on very little sleep because it was quite rolly last night. Yeah, the wind got up to about 25 knots apparently. I could hear it whistling and stuff, but I didn't bother looking until this morning. So, anyway, I better not dilly-dally. Things to go, places to go, things to do. And, well, I probably won't meet a lot of people out there, but we'll want to get home. Anyway, let's go. Okay, got the main up, now heading out to the channel. Nelson Bay over there with the radio rails on top. Logged in with Marine Rescue. Shoal Bay rather, not Shoal Haven. Shoaly. And the sky is lighting. I think it's 5:20. Going out through the portals of Port Stephens. I'm just seeing where our escort of dolphins is. I didn't get any coming in, although I saw plenty of dolphins throughout the trip yesterday. Generally I find when you're leaving here, the dolphins come and join you, but not always. It depends on the tide. Probably other fish to fry. There we go. Daylight is coming. Never gets old. Fingal Island. In there is Fingal Bay, just on the other side of the sand is a great little beach, actually, really protected. The rollers going in still. And just looking back. Getting a fair bit of waves pushing back off the cliffs. So I was really getting confused there, water slopping up. See the lighthouse there, and alright, it's working. Tick! Well, they're not splitting hairs here, they're splitting rocks. Let's make the turn. Okay, doing a bit of a right turn, which will take us down the coast further and home. Right, so that's looking into Fingal Bay. So yeah, it goes behind Fingal Island as well. So as I said, a very nice sheltered beach. Saying goodbye to Fingal Island Lighthouse as we head towards home. It's right on the clacker again. It's right, seems to be the luck of the draw. So I'm going to motorsail until it changes. Obviously we're on a bit of a time limit. I want to get home in daylight preferably. So yeah, so Single Bay, and coming up there is Anna Bay, and another bay probably after that. A big long one though that goes all the way to Newcastle, Stockton Beach. There's Anna Bay, and you can see the dunes there, which is the northern end of Stockton Beach. As I said, that goes all the way down to Newcastle. You can go there and have camel rides and stuff. That's your thing. It's actually quite fun. Done that with the kids years ago. So I'm doing a straight line basically to Gosford now. That's going to take me probably out of the sight of immediate land. I can sort of see hills in the hinterland, but being a beach and everything, of course, that's going to disappear pretty quickly because it's low lying. Still got the swell going on from yesterday a bit, so corkscrewing around. Got the wind right behind me on the clacker, which makes it really hard because it's just like I could try and sail wing on wing, but the swells basically keep flicking me around and stuff, so it's going to be pretty hard work for a while. The swells are supposed to reduce as the day goes on. I don't know if you can see it, but above the hill there, can't make my mind up, they're aerials. Yeah, I think they might be aerials actually. Disregard that little chat to myself, or not. Well, still progressing along. The swells dropped down a bit. Still corkscrewing around a little bit, simply because I got the wind on the clacker. So that'll change at some stage. I'm just passing outside Newcastle now. So if you look in there, there's one of the bulk carriers. It looks laden, so it's probably heading out. So just keeping an eye on that at the moment, because I'm actually outside the seaward side of the ship marshalling area. I don't actually transit it at all, but of course approaching and departing traffic will be an issue, but I'm pretty well just about getting past it now, so you can sort of see the city of Newcastle. Maybe over there. There you go. There you go. Another city off your list. I'm starting to get hungry. I guess I had cereal for breakfast at about 4:30 this morning. It's now 9:30. Maybe it's time for second breakfast. Swell's gone down a bit, so I think the autopilot should be able to manage it. Well, I go and fix myself something. I think I'm going to go and give myself a try of having an omelette. Anyway, let's see how this goes. Alright, 2 eggs. Got to put some chili in there. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Probably not. There we go. That'll give it a bit of a kick. And me too. Okay. Get all this stuff together. Alright, we're going to melt the butter here. Try not to fall into it. As you can see, the stove is on gimbals, so every time the boat rocks, it should correct itself basically, stay level-ish. Okay, in goes the good stuff. So we'll try and keep it spread out a bit. Okay, so we've got the chili, we've got the cheese, we've got the pepper, we've got the salt. So I think we're getting there. Looks good enough to eat. That's what I'm gonna do. So all along the coast here now, you can see bulk carriers anchored, coal ships mainly, or probably exclusively, waiting to go into Newcastle. It's weird because when you're actually on the shore, they look so far out, and now I'm way further out than they are. In fact, they're probably closer to the coast than I am to them. So that's a weird concept. That's a different one, a white one. Who would have a white coal ship? Think about that. Anyway, still seeing Newcastle. That's Merryweather there, where the dip is between the cliffs and the hills to the left. Popular beach. You see some houses there on the shore. I'm guessing that's probably Catherine Hill Bay. No, it won't be. It won't be. Sorry, because we got to have Belmont first. Haven't driven that way for a while. Okay, I'll have to look at the map. Okay, moving along nicely. That's Catherine Hill Bay, which sort of stands between the southern parts of Newcastle and the northern parts of the Central Coast. I believe this is, which national park is it? Wamberal? No, I don't think it's that. That's Birdie Beach at least, anyway. So in the back of that would be places like Budgie Boy. So we are basically on the Central Coast now. Getting closer in, so the ship's waiting here. This is how far south they come. I'm not quite sure of the reasoning for it, but we're like in Gladstone and in Hay Point in Queensland. They basically have a paddock, if you like, where they block them all. Here they stream them along the coast, and I guess that's probably to do with depth of water too. Queensland coastal waters in a lot of places can be very shallow, whereas here it drops off fairly quickly. Different kind of coastline altogether, cliffs and the like. So yeah, obviously been beaten up by the Tasman for longer than the Coral Sea's been at the Queensland coast. The Tasman obviously is a much more rougher piece of sea than say the Coral Sea would be. Just stretching back there, back towards Newcastle. Right, just been chucking a few things in the bag while I'm doing nothing. I even had a shower, did the dishes, so yeah, pretty well all prepared. It's I can't find my car keys. I haven't used them in what, 7 months probably. So yeah, hopefully my son will tell me that my spare ones are there. Meanwhile, I'm just racking my brain. I'm sure I put them in a very safe place. Yeah, for me particularly. Anyway, we are hooping along really well. That there is Nora Head Lighthouse. I remember on the way up it was raining so heavily I think I barely got a glimpse of it. What a different day today is. Well, last lunch I guess for the trip. And we're just drawing level with the entrance. Yeah, it's a place called the Entrance. There is an entrance through there which goes into Tuggerah Lakes, which is behind this land here. It's not really navigable to larger vessels. It's basically good for little trailer boats and stuff like that. So yeah, popular holiday destination again here on the Central Coast. And as we follow this further down, getting into a lot of familiar territory now. So another look at the entrance. Then you get to Woon Bay, Bateau Bay. Trust me, I would not be taking my Bateau into that bay. It'd be a good way to lose it. Anyway. Cracked Neck Point. I guess that's the home of Whiplash. I don't know. Yeah, anyway. We are moving along.
Right, next on our sliding conveyor belt of beach suburbs, Forresters, as we saw before, Wamberal, and then over here Terrigal. Terrigal is somewhat of a hub. It's got a lot of cafes, restaurants. It's a popular place for people to gravitate to, even coming up from Sydney for a day, and yeah, the traffic reflects that, generally going in and out of there on the weekend, to be avoided. Righty, we are now, that's north of Avoca with the water tower on the hill, and down to the left, and then Avoca at the other end of the beach, which, yeah, it's kind of tucked behind the hill there. So Avoca, there's a place just inland from there called Killcare, so yeah, avocado and cucumber, right? Right, there we go. There is, right hand end is Copacabana, the other end is MacMasters Beach. Now between the two, you've got to drive all the way inland quite some way and come back again to get from one to the other. Although you can probably walk from one to the other in about 20 minutes. Such is the coastline. Okay, getting overtaken right at the last. Iliad. Ah, now why is that ringing a bell? I'm sure I've seen this before. Looking into Broken Bay now. A lion island there. There's like a lion lying down there, eh? And the catch coming the other way. Where are you? There you are. Lovely classic look. Very nice. Entering into Broken Bay. If you can see it down there, very hazy, that's the Sydney coastline. It looks very hard. You can see some skyscrapers there from the city. Give that a big miss. Yeah, and these cliff shorelines, so prevalent here in central New South Wales coastline. So, been pounded a lot. Up ahead, Lion Island, as I said, and behind that is the Hawkesbury River, the mighty Hawkesbury, which goes inland quite a long way. Basically feeds in from Hawkesbury and Nepean rivers, so which I believe starts in the Southern Highlands south of Sydney. Looking over that way, it's all very hazy actually. I believe it's been a very hot day today, 40 degrees. I don't know why I'm talking like this. It's bloody boring. Anyway, yes, so fortunately I've been sitting under the awning here and getting sea breezes obviously, so I haven't really suffered from the heat, although I can feel it is hot. So yeah, something to look forward to when I go ashore, huh? It'll be evening, the wine will be cool, it's all good. So there's a few rain cells moving through. Hopefully this won't amount to much. If you miss us, even better. Doesn't look like much on the radar. Killcare and Killcare Heights. It's looking now, it's looking a little ugly up here. Wait a little while, really? Okay, so it's the northern extremities of Sydney, the northern beaches as they're called. Yeah. Anyway. Looks like Joey's still barren. That's barren Joey Head. North end of Palm Beach, the northern extremity of the Sydney beaches. Looking down again, we can see a bit more this time. That's Palm Beach there, the beach behind Barrenjoey, and so on down. You can see the city down there through the haze. Yeah, you can see just rain sheets or whatever coming down. So it is a bit of a relief to have that sun gone from the water because it was blinding. I can feel that it's been very hot. The air that's coming off the land here at the moment is pretty damn warm. Anyway, I'm going to find a little shelter up here, take down the mainsail, and then we'll meander our way up into Brisbane water. No, we're not going all the way back to Brisbane, guys. Don't get excited. Yeah, no, who names these places? Now, it's going to be a very convoluted waterway here if you haven't followed me through this before. So here at Killcare, you can see there's a saddle there. And if you go down the other side, which the road does, you end up in Hardy's Bay. And that's on the inside waterway. So we will be passing through that. And if I remember, I'll point it out. There will be a test. That's a nice looking, I'd say that's a gaff rig schooner, I guess. Right under Barrenjoey here. So what time does the tide start going in? 4 o'clock. What's the time? 3:56. Winner, winner! And around the corner we go. Nice and calm, as I'd expect. It's protected now from this northeasterly. So I'm just going to find a little spot out here and turn up into the wind and drop the mainsail. Oh, I guess the jib's away now for the last time on this trip, and the mainsail will be very much coming up for that now. Funny, because so often you come out, you can see the marker buoys in there, you probably can't, but you know, you come out here and the swells are rolling in because they're coming in from the south. So, yeah. Change of perspective and wind makes all the difference. Okay, looks like I got the sail down just in time. Bit of a squall coming through. Good time to have no sails up, I think. Anyway, let's go into the channel. Lion Island, Hawkesbury River. Oh, look at that. There you go. The window onto the rest of the sky. Right, we're starting our run into the channel. Straight away we have an opposing ferry. And so get out of his way. It's pretty wide here, so I don't know what I was worried about. Okay, in we go. 10 meters right now. This guy's going across the Palm Beach. So, good way to commute, except for when it's rough. Okay, so very narrow and convoluted channel here. It was dredged about a year ago, I think. So it should still be okay. I'm lucky, I've got a shallow draft. We're at 8.5 meters at this time. So far so good. And some yobbos. No, I'm not following them. I'm just panning around. Yeah. Down to 3 meters now. 2.8. 2.5. See how close you've got to stay to the... Oh, I just heard thunder. I thought I saw lightning. Just hold off, guys. Please. We've come this far. 2 meters. Okay, so quite narrow here. You see how close the markers are together. Green for port, green for starboard, so you keep them to your starboard or to your right. And obviously the other option is pretty obvious, so won't go through that. Yeah, it cuts in really close here. I've got a feeling that the tide's still running out a bit. You always get that kind of delay. There's a little bit of wash there on the bottom against the buoy. So Maybe not going to get the ride I thought I was going to get, but at least I'm not getting the contra current that I could get. Yeah, so we'll just follow this round into this little cove. This is all sandbar out here. You can probably see the colour of the water. It's brown. You can see waves breaking out there. Often with a southerly swell, you can see waves breaking right along the side of the channel here. It sort of makes you feel like, holy moly, how far am I from that? Probably a lot of wind noise right now, so yeah. Okay, so we've lost the wind noise a bit. You can hear the cicadas going crazy at the moment, probably because of the change in temperature coming. Yeah, obviously a very hot day, and it's now going to break with a thunderstorm or whatever. I'm not sure if whatever is worse than a thunderstorm or not on a grade of 1 to 10, but I don't want to find out, really. Anyway, it's a nice little stop-off place for people here, get their little runabouts. You can walk down from the land side as well. They've stopped building teepees. They're building whole houses now out of driftwood. Things are moving along. Okay, so snaky around the coast. And then when we come out into the open water there, we'll have a reef that sticks out called half-tide rocks. And we'll have to go right across to the other side, do a very sharp dwitz around, and then come back on again. So, yeah, bit of arm exercise. So this is Umina. I never know where one of these places stops and the next one starts. There's a golf tee on the hill there for anybody who's keen. And this boy's sitting quite. Oh, there goes thunder! Bang, bang, bang. Okay. So there's not much wash against that one. So at least we're not getting pushed backwards. Not a loss is a win. Okay, half-tide rocks. Now you can see here the green buoys. I've got to go to the far one up near the beach there, do a handbrake turn around to the right, and then go down here behind to this reef and up into that waterway. Feeling spots of water. Still got a bit of wind over tide happening there. You can see the little wavelets fighting against. So yeah, there must be a little bit of current outbound still. So just coming across here. It's not so bad that I have to crab across. Sometimes you have to really go through at a crazy angle. But yeah, not too bad today. It's a new one. Okay, now I have to crab. Now it's carrying me sideways. Okay. And it's got the green one there. So I'm fighting against, you can see the water running over the shallow water here, over the shallowness, like rapids. So, okay, chug it around. And a bit more. Okay, so now we're heading upstream again. Oh, those rain droplets on my back are a bit cool after being so warm. Anyway, so we're now heading up. This is now Echelon. I actually spent my first night of the trip up there on a public mooring, so I could get away early and also be straight out to the open sea rather than having to come 2 hours down the channel. Bearing in mind, of course, that going north was very much slower than the southbound trip. Probably about a third of the speed, probably. So yeah, it's quite an eye-opener. Okay, so we're over that shallow bit. I actually touched a couple of times. You skitter over the sand on there, being low tide. So, but all good. On our way. That should be the shallowest piece. Oh, it's getting breezy in here. Bit of a microblast, I guess. Okay, so we're just coming around now. I think it's Pretty Beach, which is next. It's pretty well next. Over there, ferry pontoon for Ettalong. There we go, we're right up close and personal with these people's places. I guess they look at us, we look in their windows. That's the price you pay for living on the water. Still pretty nice. So we're now going to do a detour around this shallow and yeah, follow that coastline on the opposite side and then around to the left. Well, I'm glad I got inside before this blustery wind came along. It's almost like it's the good old southerly bus that we used to be. Oh, hang on. I nearly blew the phone out of my hand. Yeah, the old southerly busters we used to get back in the day after a really hot day. That don't happen much anymore. Okay, so I mentioned Hardy's Bay as we were coming around Killcare. This is the Hardy Bay side, and as we get further around, we'll see, I think we'll see the saddle where the road goes across to Killcare, which of course is facing the outside ocean. Yeah, a couple of cafes there. It's a nice little spot, you know, I don't think, you know, just, yeah, the saddle's there in the trees. So, swinging around now, Avoca Bay. That's going to be completely rebuilt. That was all cheap little houses about 20 years ago. So, yeah. There we go. Here's a knob doing the speed limit. Egypt. Oh, good on you. Yeah. Brains with dynamite, he wouldn't have enough to blow his nose. Anyway, we persevere. Okay, and here comes the Rip Bridge. It's a bit of a starting line, I guess, and a finishing line. I crossed that going the other way on the 8th of May. So that feels like a long time ago at this stage, only because it is. Oh, I guess that means if that's a finish line, I finished. I don't know where I came. Anyway, time to go home. Right, still getting rain squalls every now and then. This is Voyage. Coming up to a bend in the channel. That's St Cubert's Island back there. There's a tiny channel there between St Cubert's and whatever that is. So very close now. Very close indeed. Oh, the sun's nice on my back again. Yay! Still warm. Okay, just sliding past Voyage. There's a little creek down there which goes down to the pier. There is actually a ferry that comes out of there and goes across to Kincumber, I think it is. You might remember avocado and cucumber. Anyway, because it's a long way to drive from this side back to that side, and that side's got the train station, so I guess there are those who commute. Coming into this last channel now, which will bring us out into the basin of Brisbane border. At the top end of which is Gosford. So it could start coming into view pretty shortly. And here she comes into view, Gosford, at the far end. Yeah. Look at that built up skyline now, it's terrible. It's not the place it used to be. Another concrete jungle in the making, yay, just what we need. Probably not getting this because of the silhouette against the sun, but big burned out areas here. a little place called Cooliwan. Many homes were lost a few weeks back in the bushfire. You can see there basically it came down from the ridge by the looks of it. Yeah, unfortunately took some people's homes away. In Australia that always happens just before Christmas, of course. This is probably a better light to show you what's happened. So you can see the burnt out bits. You can see where it's come down into the houses. Just above the marina there, where you can see those cruisers. Yeah, pretty sad for those people. Well, getting to the end, it must be Christmas. The amusement fair is in town. The water park is on the water. Yeah, must be that time of the year again. Let's get a swing by here and then going to head for the marina. Oh, doesn't that hot weather bring the flies out, man?
Well, that was another epic day. And there's been a string of them as I made that rush south. As soon as my engine was done in Roslyn Bay, I just jumped on that conveyor belt. Well, I did have to slow down at Bums Bay, as you've seen, but yeah, it's going to take a little time to get over this because I've had very little sleep for quite a long time. It's been amazing. Yeah, I'm going to do some follow-up videos, obviously, and just go through some of the stuff because too much to unpack right now. But good to be home. Yeah, it's just getting myself organized now to be able to relax and then, yeah, reflect on the whole thing. Obviously, there's a lot of things I need to do to Doxie in the next time, but I can take my time on that now. Just a few jobs I've got in mind. Just doing some deep cleaning as well. So get ready for our next adventure, whenever that is. Anyway, thank you so much for following along. I will keep adding sporadically now. Obviously, the daily updates are going to stop because it'd be pretty boring. So, but yeah, I will obviously keep going and look forward to some new adventures coming up. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for following and your support, kind words. It means a lot to me. It has been interesting. Yeah, it's not the trip I envisaged, it's the trip I had though. And of course things happened that wouldn't have happened, you know, if I hadn't had these little hiccups. I've met some amazing people along the way, which I never would have. So yeah, I take that away from this, and it means a lot. And I intend to stay in touch. Anyway, thanks once again. I keep saying that. This is Dawn Raider, out.